Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Monday, the 10th of April 2017. So, Friday, what an interesting day on many fronts, but certainly on the market front as well. We saw the market move lower following the non-farm payroll figures. We'll just draw that in so you can see it. Figures were released and slammed, and the reason for that was quite simple. We had 98,000 instead of the 174 that was forecast, smashing the 219 from the previous month's non-farm payroll figures there. So immediately that sent the market lower, and as we know that bad news is good news for the market, so expect it to come back. I was talking to somebody on the phone about it at the time, and you see the market return before the open because they want the market up at the moment, even with the Trump's hypocrisy and bombing of Syria. Even that couldn't send the markets lower, which normally it would do. So you can see how the game is being rigged at the moment by the Fed. Market to move higher, then it comes back, then it gets into a sideways motion, and then eventually, not thinking there were going to be any signals, we get a sell signal. We see the market sideways, then we get the buy signal filled, and then the sell signal takes precedence over this, stopping it out with 26 points loss. We then see a buy signal, and that switches the other trade for another 26 point loss, so 52 points down. I know they want the market higher because that's been the game for the last 9 years, easily, since the 2008 crash. Every time the market's down, they bring it back. So we've got a situation where the market's now a buy. We had to wait a long time for the market to get up to the scalp, and when we got to the scalp, you'll see, I'll tidy the chart up in a minute, left the stop at a break even, not break even, sorry, at the original scalp. I thought, well, in for a penny, in for a pound, they're going to move this higher, there's no doubts about that. Because again, that's what they want with the market. They want the market up to suck in the weak traders so they can offload, which they have been doing for the last several months. And not only me saying that, but there was also confirmation of this. Again, the outflows from stocks into bonds on Friday. Friday's report was the highest since May 2015. So we see the market going into this sideways move, and eventually we move higher. And now I've moved the stop to break even, which you can see here because we've removed the scalp. That's gone off the screen. And then wait and see what happens, see if the market can break. It does. We get another buy signal as well, but I'm already a buyer of the market, so I don't need to be concerned about this. The stop is still at break even, and now you're seeing me move the stop 50% below. You'll notice also we've got 43 points on the table now, and pulling back the losses from the first two trades. Market comes back, and what I've done here, if I can just wind this back, trouble is when you're trying to condense 8 hours worth of data into a 6-minute report, it's always quite difficult. Let's see if this will do it now. But what I was doing here, there we go, it's just at this point here, right? So I can play this through now. So what I've done is actually notice the market's come back, traded up to here, been a spike in the volume, so I know there's some selling around. So as the market's come back, the selling's starting to drop off, the market's still holding, so I want to see how far it will come up before it finds resistance and then moves to the downside. That's all I'm looking for. I'm looking for a retracement. So you'll see there now me drawing that on the chart, and a case of waiting to see what happens, see if I can move the stop again. So let's continue forward. Notice the point value is increasing all the time. I'm checking the daily chart now just to see where we are in the bigger picture, to see if we've got a chance of some resistance around, and I'm just going to draw that on the chart as well. You can see I'm picking the high that we've got here. We're not quite there yet. Hoping the market will get there. I'm also expanding the chart out so I can see this a bit more clearly. So by using the daily chart, I'm looking at this figure combined with what we've got in the intraday chart as well. So the market's moving up nicely, and we head back towards this high, and you'll see the market put in just at this point a double top in the 61 points on the table there as we come back to the resistance here, having traded through the 76. But will it hold from the selling that we saw happening here? So let's just see what happens. I move the stop up again, and eventually the market comes back and takes me out. No surprise there really, because as we approach this point here, you need to see an increase in volume to drive the market higher, and we don't get any increase. So we know already that there's some potential weakness around, and there you've got 53 points to bring the pot back to square. So there we have this trade. Didn't do any more. I'm not going to say I was on this short and made another 20 points because I had to go out. And if we want to see the completed picture, there it is, because I stopped recording after I just dropped this one in there. So for those of you that did this one, you can see there was a 20-point scalp on this as the market came back. But all of the clues really were in this area here when the market came up and put the double top in this area. You've got your first top there, second one there, and then the market came back below that 76% as well, which we drew in, and then prices moved lower. So let's have a look at the daily charts. Again, we've got that situation. Obviously didn't save the chart. Let me just pop this back in so you can see where we're at. So that was the one I drew in, which also coincides with the 62% there, just under it. So let me just save that so I don't have to keep drawing it back in later. You can see we're in this sideways move, and prices really starting to move again a bit on the overnight. Notice that the moving average has turned red. There is some weakness around, even though they want to keep bringing the market up, and we're quite a bit off the highs down to this low here where they bought back into the market. But since then the market's been churning. Notice the last couple of days as well, we've got very high volumes here where again they're trying to hold the market and buying back at this point. News wise, what have we got today? Yellen speaking at 9:10 p.m. so that means it could be fairly quiet for today's session. Hopefully there'll be enough momentum in the first couple of hours to grab some points. But the market will be waiting for Yellen. Interesting to see what she's got to say, certainly during speech after the market closes, or just 5 minutes before it closes. Interesting that she's not speaking until after. Must be some sort of college symposium or something that she's speaking at. And then finally we've got the implied volatility, and here we can see this is up slightly during Friday's session. We've gone for, yes, it's up slightly. We had a high of 10.17, it came back to 9.41 and then back up to 10.12 there on Friday, which you'd expect with the bit of weakness towards the end of the trading session there. Right, that's it for today. I will see you in tomorrow's, and as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.